So as of making this video, I have been in the design industry for over 12 years, and for 6 of those, I have been a design recruitment agency freelance designer. Up until now, my career has had 2 quite distinct sides: working as a full-time designer and working as a design recruitment agency freelance, and they couldn't have been more different. Going DRA Freelance has not only changed my career, but launched it to the point where I am now typically leading my own projects and getting amazing opportunities. In this video, I'm going to discuss my experience as a DRA freelancer over the past 6 years, why I stayed DRA freelance, and why I would recommend it to you. Now, in the last video, I spoke about my full-time experience and why I went DRA freelance. If you have not seen that video, then you may want to go back and check that out before watching this one. Link is in the description. So once I left my full-time employers, after a few weeks, I got my first design recruitment agency contract. Now, I was not expecting to jump straight into an amazing job. After all, I was quite new to freelance, but my first few contracts were a lot better than my full-time job. It was new, exciting. I was now on a day rate and earning more than I was as an employee. For the first couple of years, I would do short and straightforward contracts, undertaking relatively easy design work with a bunch of design recruitment agencies, building a reputation, experience, and improving on my portfolio. In just a couple of years, I had been to multiple design studios and worked on a few decent projects. I was finally getting the experience I wanted all along, which I was missing out on as an employed designer at one studio. I got to observe how many design agencies operated. I got to watch how senior designers worked and observe their process to complete projects. I was meeting lots of other designers, full-time and freelance, learning tips and tricks, having great conversations and getting good advice. I was meeting other creative professionals in other fields and working in teams to complete creative jobs. So the first couple of years was amazing for building loads of experience pretty quickly. I felt I was making up for all the time I spent as an employed designer, where I did not have much to show for it. After a couple of years, I was settled into freelance. It was hard work, but I was pretty happy, getting paid a good salary with a good day rate, not worrying too much about the next contract, and my CV was really starting to take shape. So with more experience and more projects in my portfolio, I then started to get better creative opportunities. I had earned a decent reputation at this point with my agents at the design recruitment agencies, and I would be called often to be offered jobs. I started to pick and choose what I wanted instead of taking on contracts in desperation. And soon I would get some opportunities to work on some big global brands. Shortly after, I would work on some big British brands and broadcasters where I had the opportunity to work on some big projects. Finally, I had some decent work and experience under my belt I was proud of. All the hard work and commitment to this point was paying off. So around 2 years ago, DRA Freelance was going really well and I had great momentum. And at this point, I started to get offers directly from clients. So I thought perhaps I should undertake some solo freelance and manage my own clients. I thought this could be good to bring in some more profit for the business. In the end, I took on a bunch of work for some external clients. And as much as I enjoyed the work, it turned out to be a completely different ballgame to DRA Freelance. Now, as a DRA freelancer, working in a studio, there is a good buzz. It's inspirational and motivating. Also, there are people employed to manage clients. The clients pay the fees, and you get the day rate, no questions asked, and you work on the job between the hours of the studio. When the day is done, you are done. And generally, you will work a contract for a week or a month. It's all organized, and you get the job done within the time frame specified. Now, working solo, it seemed the process was far more drawn out. As a solo freelancer, I found myself working almost double or triple the time on these projects, and compared to DRA freelance, I would receive a lot less payment. Now, this was down to the client's expectations. A lot of the time, when you tell your client your day rate, they find that pretty high. Now, to be accommodating, you try and work with them and find some sort of compromise, which can sometimes get out of hand. Now, typically working as a solo freelancer, because you don't get the last payment until the end of the project, you will first have to satisfy the client before they pay. So you have to undertake all the feedback, and do any updates and amends, which is generally a lot before you get paid, which can take a while. Now, granted, I could have done a better job managing this, but compared to DRA Freelance, where all the admin is done for you and all you have to do is show up, do a good job and get paid well, solo freelance proved itself to be more hassle than it was worth. So after that experience, I stopped taking on solo freelance and just stayed DRA Freelance. Now that brings me to where I am today, almost 6 years into DRA Freelance. Today, I have freelanced for almost as long as I was full-time, and the amount of experience I have got in this time is over 10 times, maybe even 100 times more than I ever got when I was full-time for an employer. In the 6 years I was employed full-time, I worked at 3 studios. In the 6 years of freelance, I have worked at over 30. Working full-time as an employee, I was a junior to middleweight designer, struggling to get experience. Today, I operate as a senior level freelancer, leading my own projects at studios in London, and I have built a strong portfolio that gets me great creative opportunities. I can't imagine where I would be today if I had stayed full-time. So it's for those reasons why I have stayed DRA Freelance and why I would recommend DRA Freelance to you. In my experience, working by yourself or with the same people for a while as an employee, you just don't get exposed to a huge variety of skills, talent, and ways of working. So if you are unhappy with your full-time role, feel you are missing out on the experience you want, or if you are solo freelance and tired of dealing with unreasonable clients, there is another way. If you have design recruitment agencies in your city, then you can consider going DRA Freelance. So the main reasons that I have stayed DRA Freelance is the crazy amount of experience you can get, the variety of projects you can work on, working with amazing creative professionals, don't have to chase clients, you work between the hours of the studio, working at home can be uninspiring, work a good day rate, you get guaranteed payment, you show up, do a good job and leave, and if you're lucky, they may even keep you around for a little while. And these are all the same reasons why I would recommend DRA Freelance to you. So that's my experience as a DRA freelancer, which has been a particularly positive one for me. Now, what about you guys? Have you ever experienced anything similar? Are you currently full-time and looking to go freelance? Where are you in your career right now, and have you thought about going DRA freelance? Let me know your thoughts and share your experiences in the comments below, and I look forward to reading and chatting to you about your experience. Now, after watching this video, some of you may be interested in going DRA freelance. So over the next 2 videos, I'm going to be discussing the qualities and skills you will need as a designer in order to cut it as a DRA freelancer. So see you in the next video.